Alright, now that we're done with the bullet, we just have to go ahead and prep it to export it out. So, the bullet right now, if we hit 8 on the keyboard to open up the Explorer window, we'll notice that the bullet is made out of two parts. It's made out of the bullet itself and then the shell casing, of course. What we're going to do is we're going to combine the two of them into one. So I'm going to go ahead and select the bullet, hold down Shift and select the shell casing. And then with those two selected, I'm going to hold down Alt and right click on top of those objects, and you'll get a multiple selection menu. Go down to the menu item that says Merge. Click on that, and what's going to happen is Exercise is going to combine those two objects and create a new one, and the new one's called Poly MSH, or short for Polymesh. What you want to do is take this tolerance down all the way to 0, because what that's going to do, it's going to try to weld vertices or points from both the objects together when they meet up on the borders. In this case, we do not want Exercise to do that, so we take that down to 0. Again, we want to take the blend checkbox, mark that off, because that's going to try to blend the two objects together and weld them. We don't want that to happen. Okay. Now the merge material UVs button, what that does is if the original bullet was textured, when we hit that button, the texture is going to transfer over to the new object, the new Poly MSH or Polymesh object. But in this case, we haven't textured it, so it doesn't matter. So we're just going to ignore that. If we hit this hide unhide button, what's going to happen is the original objects, like this cylinder and the Polymesh detached object, are going to be hidden. And they're hidden right now, and I can see that because they have a small yellow H next to their names in the Explorer window. So, if you hit this delete button, it'll delete them instead of hide them. Now, deleting them is permanent. Once you delete them, they're gone. You can always hit Control Z to undo, but let's say if you delete them, close Exercise, and then come back to it later, that's it. You lost those original objects. So I recommend that you use the hide and unhide button to temporarily hide the old objects, but yet keep them just in case if you need them for the future. You never know. So hit the hide button to hide them, close this PPG, and now we have this new Polymesh object. Simply hit F2 with the object selected to rename it. Let's rename it to Bullet. And now with the bullet selected, let's close this window. What we're going to do is go up to File, then go down to Import, and then go to .xsi. We want to export this as a .xsi file. And what's going to happen is you're going to get these different settings here. These settings are perfectly fine. Go ahead and just hit OK. And now XSI wants to know where you want to export Edit that part out of the video. And we're going to start again in 3, 2, 1. Let's go up to File. Let's go all the way down to Export. And we're going to export this as a .xsi file. And you'll get this Export Options window. Now we've got a lot of options, but we don't have to worry about them because the default options that are already selected for you are going to work just perfect. So click on OK. And Exercise is going to ask you what you want to call this item. We're going to call it Bullet, and it's going to automatically dump it into the .xsi folder inside the project directory of this tutorial. So I'm going to click on OK, and there we go. It's exported out and ready to go. So we're done with the Bullet. That does it for this video.